Guys, we hit the letter C in our A to Z. I think there's so many ailments we're doing this. It's quite interesting going back over on it. So C, we're going to start off with something called Candida albicans. Candida albicans tend to be local, so that stays in the gut, unless you're very, very, very unfortunate where it goes systemic, which is basically meant they've mutated and they've kind of burrowed through the gut wall and they're now in the blood system. That's when it gets quite serious and you've got to really look at getting that sorted. So I'll talk about the two. So normal Candida albicans, these are a bad yeast, and the yeast is like a bit of a virus that affects our gut environment. And by changing the environment to a negative environment, our trillions of bacteria are affected in the gut, and they die off. So our gut bacteria is about 70% of our immune system, our cognitive function. It affects our skin, it affects our sleep, it affects our mood, energy levels. So it's really important to keep the gut healthy. The way we keep the gut healthy generally would be to take a probiotic. So to me, the probiotics I tend to use is Optibac, which you get virtually anywhere, but they're fantastic. So Optibac, brilliant. The other thing would be I use a Symbiotic Daily by Viridian, or Terra Nova's is the one, our best selling one by a country mile. That's a pre and probiotic together. However, your Candida albicans, it's not the first thing I would jump into. I would look at a product called Saccharomyces boulardii. Another big word. I'm good at learning these words. I probably pronounced it wrong, but I use it a lot with customers and clients. Saccharomyces boulardii is also a yeast, believe it or not, so it's not actually a bacteria. And Saccharomyces boulardii does a few amazing things in the gut. One of the main things it does is it takes out Candida albicans, carries them out of the body. It changes the environment in the gut intestinal tract to be more prone for good bacteria to start to recolonize, which is cool. And the environment it changes it to doesn't like, that Candida albicans doesn't like. So it will take out those Candida albicans. It also helps with taking out heavy metal toxins, which is also a bonus. And if there is any leaky gut syndrome, which you tend to get with systemic Candida, it actually helps heal the intestinal tract and the gut wall. Now, Saccharomyces boulardii is kind of a must if you're going away, say you go to Egypt, where most people out of a 2-week cruise on the Nile spend 10 days, vomiting and the other end because they picked up some bug. Take Saccharomyces boulardii or a travel biotic, which has got Saccharomyces boulardii and a probiotic in there. Do it every time. You spend £5,000 on a holiday, you don't want to have half that holiday on a toilet. Spend 20 odd quid or whatever they cost and get Saccharomyces boulardii and a probiotic, or like I say, Travel Biotic by Viridian or Optibac. They're both amazing. So that's where I would go with that. With Candida albicans, I would start with Saccharomyces boulardii for a week. And I would take several a day. I would personally take 2 to 3 a day, depending on the severity of it. And then after that, I would introduce something called an antiviral, antibacterial product. Fantastic ones for me are Oregon grape, brilliant, and clove. Again, a few companies do that, both their products, but one or the other was great for antimicrobial, antiviral, antifungal products. And then I would run that until you start feeling better, actually. So that might be an 8 to 12 week period, and I would just run that along, and then I would introduce a good probiotic at the end of that period. So after 8 weeks, go with a good probiotic and then see where you get on from there. So that's how I would treat Candida albicans. If it was systemic Candida, I would do exactly the same process. The main difference I would do is I would introduce something called L-glutamine twice a day, first thing in the morning, last thing at night, for the first 3 or 4 weeks. There you go, ladies and gentlemen, that's Candida albicans. Thank you very much.